When last we met Elgan, he had leapt into the river and found out that a lance had been stuck into the thing in the river, who's the individual he was supposed to deliver a message to. And at that point, you've wondered if you might see any trace of who did this, who stuck the lance in. And you suggested that you might be willing to spend a couple of points of sense trouble. The thing, though, is that if you can see any information about who it is who attacked the thing in the river, that, of course, will lead you close to the mystery. It's not just a matter of whether you're in danger or not. It's not information that's not related to the mystery. It's absolutely related to the mystery. So in this case, I'm going to take the liberty, rather than stopping the clip now and asking you whether you want to take this investigative ability, on the unspoken assumption that these clips should be more than 3 seconds long, I'm going to take the liberty of giving you the notice ability. And what notice does is it allows you to spot things in your environment that either others would be unable to perceive because they're just not that sharp-eyed or keen of hearing, or also things that others might notice but not understand the significance of. In this case, what it allows you to do is to see the bubble trail of a figure in the murky water that others might not perceive, but you're pretty good at seeing things in murky water, and you can see the flippers of a humanoid figure wearing a powered wetsuit speeding away from the scene of the crime. At this point, you sense a perturbation in the water above you, and you realize that the thing in the river is lurching about and trying to get to land, but is injured and can't quite get there on his own steam. And you see that you poke your head up above water, you see that there are people on the riverbank. They've noticed that the thing in the river is in distress. So at this point, you have two choices. One would be to try to pursue the figure in the powered wetsuit, and the other one would be to try and pull the thing in the river onto closer to the shore, to get him to the shore where possibly there might be, say, some sort of medical assistance for him. In either case, you're going to have to make an athletics test. So let me know what you want to do and how many points you want to spend doing it.
Hi, Robin. Notice. I love notice. It's one of those abilities that's almost always handy to have as your character on your character sheet. So, given my options of chasing after someone in a powered wetsuit underwater, or helping my new owner/employer not die and making a okay first impression, I think I'm going to go for the option of wrestling the thing in the river out of the river, or at least swim to the surface and going, help, help, throw me a rope, throw me a thing in the river shaped life preserver or something, and making a big show of attracting help. And checking my character sheet, I have a mighty 2 athletic points left, so I'll spend both of those, and I'll also curse myself for not spending any points on medic earlier, but one lives and learns. So help the thing in the river and spend 2 points of athletics.
You will be excited to know, Gar, that you've just rolled a 6, and you spent 2 points, so that gives us a total of 8 compared to the standard difficulty number of most things in GUMSHOE of 4. So in GUMSHOE, the rules do not explicitly call for GMs to take degree of success into account, because that would be a pain to have to think about it every time. But sometimes it will just occur to you that it's obvious to describe the success in as exciting a manner as possible. So you swim heroically to the surface, you grab onto the solidest part you can find of the thing in the river, and you start pulling him in toward shore, and also at the same time you're shouting and getting attention, and people rush toward the riverbank. You hear sort of a susurrus of concern. It's obviously everyone knows who the thing in the river is. It's a big deal that he's injured. And by the time, therefore, you get him very, very safely and gingerly to shore, people are already running toward him, and you hear calls of, is there a medic? Is there a medic? Is there a doctor? And someone waves and has his big holographic medical kit with him, and he runs toward the thing in the river and begins to patch him up and apply a special sealant to the wound and disinfect it. And at this point, someone calls for one of the barges that's passing by to come to shore, and the people on that vessel realize how important this is. And as you stand by and people are seeing that you're the one who did this, he is then carefully lifted by yourself and others onto the barge for transport to the Aqua Hospital. So this then leaves us the question, do you go to the Aqua Hospital? He's been sedated. You sort of have the feeling that probably chances are if you are going to get to interview him, if he survives this, you're not going to be able to probably do that right away. But this leaves you open to whether you want to head along to the hospital and investigate something else, or exactly how your investigation into this heinous assault is going to actually kick off.
Hi, Robin. Wow. I mean, this is one fascinating advantage of this slightly unusual mode of playing, in that someone else rolls the dice, so I can actually roll well for once. It's great. Roll sixes. I've never seen one of those before when I'm playing. The other advantage of this mode of play is that I can run back and check my previous actions, given there's a fairly or occasionally lengthy gap between sessions. So what I'm going to do next is I have my ripped up letter, with the first half being a fairly standard, here at the end of the river, take this human as your new possession, and the ripped second half containing my control code and stuff about my mysterious origins. As I said, I'm going to hide the second half, and what I'm going to do next is take a look around to see if I can see any sign of the mysterious harpoonist assassin. While I'm doing that, if I happen to know a scribe or forger or some such who could produce a copy of the letter, or even a fake bottom half, whichever is easier, probably just a fake entirely new letter, basically incorporating the first half of the text, the official greetings from my Sessile overlord, or former Sessile overlord, or Sessile former overlord, technically, because he remains Sessile, and then a fresh bottom half saying basically, thank you, there is nothing further further of note, possibly including a fake control code. So the thing in the river suspects nothing when it wakes up, and I have some measure of freedom. But if I can't find such a forger promptly, possibly with a use of investigative ability, and I don't find anything about the assassin, then I head to the hospital after a while. So priorities are look for any sign of the assassin. If I don't find that, look for forger, and if none of those things is possible within reasonable time, head to the hospital.
So, Garth, the first thing you want to do is look around, see if there's any sign of the assassin or attempted assassin so far, who was, well, maybe he's an assassin in other cases, but at least in this case, the victim is still alive. At any rate, the upshot is you look around on the shore, and not to any great surprise, you don't see any sign of the harpoon-wielding power scuba diver who seems to have been the one to stab your quasi-employer. So that brings you to your next question, which is finding a forger. This naturally calls for the classic and oh so useful GUMSHOE investigative ability, Streetwise. And in the Mother City, there's plenty of streets to be wise about. And so you know all sorts of things about forgers, and you know a bunch of forgers. But in this case, you know only one forger who is capable of myco-forgery, of the whole point of one of these mycological documents is that it cannot be copied. But everyone knows that if you go to a good enough specialist in criminal circles, cannot be copied means it's just very expensive to pay someone to copy it. And that someone is someone named Yerbela, who you've met numerous times. And so you go around asking where Yerbela is. You go to the shop where she usually works out of undercover as a ceramics dealer, and you discover that she's not been seen for several days. And it's not much of a surprise to you either, knowing your Bella, to know that she was last seen at the Scorpion Pit, which is one of the city's many casinos, and perhaps the most frightening and seedy of its casinos. And you have a bit of a suspicion that if she hasn't been seen for a while, that as a habitual gambler, that perhaps she's run into a bit of trouble there. And if there's trouble at the Scorpion Pit, that may well bring you into contact with the Cone, the proprietor of the Scorpion Pit, so named because he is cone-shaped. So at this point, you can either, I suppose, describe what you do before you get to the Scorpion Pit, or what you do when you arrive.
And attempt 3 to record this response. So, I'm on my way over to the Scorpion Pit, and as I'm hurrying over there, I rack my brains. Am I aware of any business interests or other activities connected to the thing in the river that would be immediately disrupted by him being incapacitated due to a harpoon? Does he, own some information brokerage or something that might, the attack on him might be a distraction for an attack on that or something? I'm just thinking of this as I run, and assuming that I don't suddenly go, oh, clearly this is because he was attacked for purpose X. Then I arrive at the Scorpion Pit, and I will make a quick circuit of said pit, looking for your Bala or any informants I might recognise thanks to my streetwise.